All right, guys, we're back, and we're actually already in game. A little bit late to the party, but we're good to go in this brand new best of 3. So we continue on in the same group. I think it's group pool 6. In the bottom left, we do have the red Protoss MaNa.
In the upper right, as the blue Zerg, it's ViBE.
I'm going to sneeze 1 sec.
Bless you.
See, I take the whole headset off because I don't want to break something. That's my plan. That's my
I'm pretty sure their design is swivel.
No, but I feel like I'm going to sneeze and I'll throw the headset off the other way.
Achoo! Just across the room.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotcha.
All right, so ViBE and MaNa I actually was mingling a little bit with to talk to. I think MaNa's just being MaNa. He knows what's up. He's going to play the matchup the best he can. ViBE says, though, you know, like he has, and this is pretty evident, like he's been taking the game a lot more casually. He's not the full-time, super hardcore pro gamer he once was. He feels like he can beat MaNa, but doesn't know if he will. It's kind of the gist of what I got out of our conversation.
Yeah. I mean, not to... I really feel like MaNa's going to win this one. He actually had a really great showing recently on BaseTradeTV where he 3-0'd, didn't he? Yeah, he's a Zerg player.
Yeah, and we were talking about specifically how he kept, I don't remember who this one was, but I just remember it was like a Corsair Cup or something. And we were talking about how he's just been struggling with a lot of the Zerg matchups, even though it's Protoss who are favored.
I think it was Namshar.
Maybe it was Namshar.
Yeah, it might have been. Well, either way. The point is, like, where MaNa had, I thought, maybe a weakness. No, I think it was Nurchio.
I didn't intend for the prayer emote to be used like this, but it's the best response to when I sneeze.
I think
pray, bless you.
I think it was Nurchio, because it was so shocking. That's right, like, MaNa beat Namshar, which I was like, okay, I thought he could. But I was wondering, and then I was like, he's not always going to beat Nurchio, and then he did it 3-0, which is so, so weird. So, MaNa actually, like, any, hesitance that I had initially about his PvZ or just his play in general was entirely just done away with that series. So I think he's just going to actually, if he plays like that, he's actually going to, just tear ViBE apart 2-0.
What's really interesting too is ViBE, like, I remember the last few times we've cast ViBE, he was doing some sort of out of the ordinary stuff. And I don't mean like going mass swarm host, but like he's less than conventional, I'd say, than most. So I don't think we're expecting to see a lot of Roach Ravager into like Infestor, into Broodlords, or anything like that. But I wonder more so not on what ViBE's going to do, but more like what MaNa's going to force ViBE to do. Because, for example, MaNa's opening with the Stargate. Does he get 2 more and turn this into like a Sky Toss game? Does he end up just using this for the Oracle and then playing Robo? Like, a lot of this is, for whatever plans ViBE may have, he is going to ultimately have to react to what MaNa's doing.
Yeah. So far, it looks very normal for both players, and I don't think we saw MaNa do a Stargate game. Maybe he did one.
Yeah.
So I can't confirm or deny. But the point is, like, he's not all about the Stargate and carrier play. So this might just go back into that Twilight Council tech, back into ground army emphasis, with just the Oracle to scouts. And ViBE should be able to get away with a lot of droning, if that is the case.
Yeah. By the way, just apologies for the bot being down. For those who don't know, I did turn this on before I left, but I guess it might have got turned off, or maybe I didn't plug it in or something. But it's back at home in Canada, so I cannot churn the bot online. So there's no bets or anything being recorded for this, and for this, my apologies. For this, my apologies.
Womp womp. Yep.
Oracle leads into Resonating Glaives. So for ViBE, yeah, he may have to do with a little bit of harass. MaNa might just end up doing the stasis traps and the mineral lines. I mean, he is pretty hip to the meta and quick to follow what Koreans do.
Hip to the meta? Hip to be squared?
No.
No? No?
I think you can just be hip to the meta.
Okay.
You can be a one.
Or you could be a
cat.
famous song. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, was that a song?
Hip to be squared?
Yeah.
I don't know the name of it, but it's in a song.
Okay. I was going to say, I'm glad you're referencing music to me, of all people.
Yeah, you know pop culture.
Hey, Monty, thank you for the bits, dude. I don't know if that sound's going to trigger or not. Oh, okay. Because I couldn't remember if it was tied to BitBoss or whether it was tied to Twitch players. But thank you for the bits, and good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, BitBoss is pretty barren, just like Twitch alerts. Resident Glaze is finishing up, barely saved the Oracle.
Oh no, I was going to say, we could turn on BitBots, but we'd have, or the BitBoss, but we'd have to enable it with a channel, which we can't do, because...
Yeah, that you can't do. That I'm unable to do, so... oh well. So Adepts coming in here. Was there an Oracle? Yeah, there is an Oracle coming up now as well. And this does a lot of damage, Like, this actually can be very scary. So ViBE takes it pretty seriously. Actually tries to wall off here, but way too late for that.
Yeah, if he had actually got that Evo Chamber down, this could have been a really cool denial, but the Adepts don't transfer through. They just end up killing the Queen. If the drones run away, certainly that Oracle's going to go ham.
Oh, man. They kind of like run away and then back into the Adept, so a lot go down, and this is already too much damage. Did like no roaches coming from that third base? It doesn't actually matter, though, because like roaches really don't take the Adepts down that fast, even with a 10 health nerf.
Yeah.
And they're going to deal a lot more damage to the drones before they're taken out. And
even the Queen going down is just like damage in of itself. These Adepts transfer over. They'll just kind of distract a couple. The Adepts keep transferring around.
Oh, God. This is too much damage. I can't. Oh.
It's a massacre. MaNa has killed 24 workers so far. And the craziest part about this is MaNa's side, even if he loses all of this, the commitment was not that big. The commitment was not that expensive.
No, I think he even saved the Oracle, and that's usually like not the biggest commitment because it is still like 9 Adepts, but that is usually one of the things that could go down and actually cost them scouting for later, but I don't think that matters. I
got like the Benny Hill music playing in the background watching all these drones transfer back and forth.
Oh, that's actually a really good stasis trap.
Was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drones? You might as well have temporarily killed them. That was amazing moves out of MaNa.
That really is. Now, ViBE tried to drone as hard as possible after he made his roaches, and they finally popped out. So he's still holding at 44 workers, but it's like it's remaking so many.
The income graph is just horrific to look at. And, of course, the Oracle's still alive, both of them, so just kind of chilling.
Oh, they don't go back to mining, by the way, as you saw on the upper right. So they had to put them back manually.
Oh, that sucks. I didn't actually. So that's one of those Today I Learned moments, but
it does suck. So now the Oracle's still alive for Revelation. Those roaches are never going to surprise attack, and honestly, on Proxima, like there's only really one direction they can go, so they shouldn't be surprised anyways. MaNa had his third base up and running. He's like 61 probes. He had thrown down double robo. So while maybe there is a chance that he attacks before the Immortals come in, that's Totes and Overcharge, and that's production eventually catching him. This is going to take out a lot of drones once again.
I didn't realize how big the range to trigger that was, too, until, like, just now. Because, I mean, that was, like, back here. More drones get shut down. We're going to see that spike in income as it goes up in favor of MaNa once more. Now, this is kind of interesting out of ViBE. Spine Crawlers, an Infestation Pit. I don't know what he's aiming for with this. Oh, he has to bring Eva get out.
Swarm Host, I would suppose. Just buying time and getting Swarm Host, because technically they are a infinite unit. They hopefully don't die. But the Locusts are in such cool... Like, they actually talk a lot about the Swarm Host or not Swarm Host, but it's for good Aspire.
I don't think this is actually a terrible choice, but... Because, it's not really Stalkers. The time's just not here. Hell, you know what? Mutalisks would be great, funny enough. There's, like, no anti-air in this army. There's no Phoenixes that were made. It's, like, 4 sentries that can shoot up.
If MaNa had any feeling that Spire was on the way, though, he would just warp in 7 Stalkers, and that would just be easy. Easy peasy.
Well, Force Fields can't push out the Spine Crawlers, but the Immortals can knock them down in, like, 4 shots, so...
Yep.
There's that.
Yep.
I will say, ViBE's did a pretty good job chipping away at the army, but ultimately, like, there's just nothing he's buying time towards. He's out of cash. He just built 15 more roaches, which are all most likely going to get killed. Kind of forgot about the Oracle. I guess it comes back in, adds some help. Yeah, it's also looking pretty good. That +1 weapons chewing through the roaches and the Ravagers. Doesn't really matter. And this game is probably over. Another 21 workers die, brings the total up to 59 drones killed. Yeah. We're not a single probe lost.
So MaNa was not really bothering to micro too well. Like he actually ran a lot of units into Corrosive Biles, and those popped exactly on the sentries. So, he started to take a big loss in the army, but his Warprism's still alive, and ViBE can't do anything about that.
ViBE's going to be permanently crippled. No work. It was GG. And I think actually we could miss it at the end, but another stasis trap went off while this was going on. So bigger and worse denial as time went on. MaNa taking game number 1.
I think ViBE really was in a position where something Hail Mary had to come in, and that was a Greater Spire or High for Ultras or Infestors.
Just something, yeah.
Something different than numbers. But funnily enough, with how blasé MaNa was about attacking into that, he might have gotten away if he had just invested in Roaches and Ravagers. Like, MaNa really took a lot of Corrosive Bile shots.
Well, Newkirk for map number 2. Also, I'm trying to see if I can see who's playing on the main stream without looking back, but I can't.
That's a little bit too far.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't see, but I don't have my glasses.
The webcam quality's not that
great.
My
glasses.
I
didn't bring my contacts either.
I can't see without my glasses.
It's really far away.
Velma always really annoyed me because I was always like, look, if you're having this much trouble, just do that little old person rope around the back like they have for reading glasses and stuff. So when they get knocked off your face, they still hang on your neck.
It was made at a time before that existed.
before
And
rope
can
existed.
you prove that? Can you prove that?
A time before rope existed.
Can you prove that existed in
So
the 60s?
are you trying to claim that Scooby-Doo took place in like the 1660s?
No, rope existed, okay, and the idea of stringing something together existed. But does she think about that without seeing someone else do it first? Does she? She's really not that smart, even though she's supposed to be the smart one.
Here's my logic. Even the dumbest person, after burning their finger in the fire once, knows not to do it again.
Okay, you know not to do it again, right? But can you figure out, to build like a stone, fireplace around that fire? No, that's a little bit advanced.
We did figure that out, though.
But it's advanced, is my point.
So your claim here is a piece of string attaching to the back of your glasses is advanced.
She just wouldn't think about it.
What kills me, the most advanced part of this argument is not the rope, but the knot you would tie to keep it on the glasses.
She wouldn't think about it. You know?
In the bottom right. Moving on, it's Team Liquid's MaNa.
I mean, if she really want to think about it, why don't she just get contacts? In the bottom left is the blue Zerg.
So you live in a world where contacts exist, but rope hasn't been invented yet.
No, I'm saying if they were smart and had both options available, why not go for the contacts? But we're under the assumption that they're both not available.
Where's the other game screen? Just... I just can't.
It's going to be my goal to try and get as many Ace IDKs as possible.
Yeah, that's my response to you right now. It's just, I'm even going to type in your account. Disappointed. Disappointed!
Just saying, man. Just saying. Those things weren't invented until the 70s.
So, some important things went down this game.
I don't think so. Not as important as this.
And ViBE made several lings at an earlier time than you would expect, Zombie Grub.
I mean, I would expect this. Cheese them out.
Well, it looks like MaNa was too. He did go for that Zealot pretty quick, and you don't normally do that for any reason whatsoever. It's an interesting choice, though, because we saw earlier, of course, 2 Zealots made from Mcanning, but that's not the case here. Just the one as he moves straight into the Adepts. Walling off could be a problem. Zealot barely gets back there. Oh my god.
Very close. So ViBE is getting speed as well as an evolution chamber, so there will be drops coming in here. I think MaNa already has units in mines, however. He's already put a pylon down near that Overlord that's trying to turn into it, I think.
Yeah, this would be really, really key to keep out of the base. But unfortunately, some probes. Actually, I really like the probes pulled for this.
Yeah,
it's
just in
gonna be
case.
just enough.
Yep.
Perfect defense out of MaNa so far.
That hasn't even lost a probe.
Wow, that leaves him up 10 workers, and that's a bad feeling for ViBE. Well, he does try and take a hatchery while this goes on. Oh, there's a probe there too. Awkward. But not, you gotta show off, right? You're just leading in probes. You got them littered in my base being AFK. That's how far ahead you are.
Yeah, exactly. Malaysia, of course, is going to be able to take out that Overlord if there's a move soon.
I don't think the Overlord's really something she's probably looking at, though. Funny enough.
Kill it, and you don't have to worry about it ever again.
Yeah, that's true. You get rid of the, there you go, the elevator. That gets a supply block when the Lynx goes down. ViBE is probably out, which feels bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's only sticking in this because he saw that Nexus wasn't put down yet, so...
Yeah, that... And maybe, just maybe, the probe's out of position. He is able to run by, and the things get out of hand. But this is the losers match of the group. If we didn't make that clear before, guys.
Yeah.
So if ViBE dies, he's out. He should absolutely fight to the last on this one.
Also, with MaNa having... these 4 depths are quite scary. You could have brought the Zealot, too. Actually transfers into the Lings. That's a mistake.
Yeah, these are little mistakes, but it will give ViBE a chance.
It's more like if MaNa didn't make a mistake, then it would just have been like a slaughter. ViBE would have actually decided to make so many Lings.
ViBE, though, winning on the idle game pretty hard. No workers AFK here.
I mean, what did MaNa do? He scouted and waited for the attack to come while he built units.
Way to go AFK, MaNa.
I mean, that's actually, I feel like that's the explanation.
Man,
right
Protoss must be a really hard race to play then. Jeez.
You didn't have to micro until the Zealot popped down, the Lings came.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to hit you, but... we do have, I think, no chance for ViBE. I'm going to be completely blunt about this. But if MaNa makes enough mistakes, certainly an opening's there. And this just goes back to that fact that there's no other games for ViBE to fall back to. You might as well just play it up to the best of your capabilities, even if that means running up against a literal wall.
Yeah. I mean, we saw a game earlier with Mcanning, right? And against, I guess it was Game Time. where M. Canning defended properly against the early game Ling attack, although it does not include a Lucian Chamber, so that is like, ViBE did the most committed thing possible. But even to a lesser extent, right, like it still was pretty dedicated, and Game Time ended up still winning that match. You know, he had double expanded, he didn't have to deal with adepts, and he did macro out of it, but this is different. Way more committed, chooses to go for 2 base, the Ling upgrade, other than, as opposed to getting a faster 3rd base, still down in 7 probes. It's pretty bad.
Well, as they dart around on the outside of the base, I'm just sitting here in my bones, like, I want to go to Nidus Worm or something. Just like, if you are going to go out with a bang, go with the flash. But actually, as I think these silly thoughts, like a Nidus Worm would be his best bet to getting into the base, if we're going to be honest. This is so thickly guarded, and even if you break down one of these cyber cores, there's going to be force fields behind it, pylons get overcharged. Like, the front of the base is really not the option. And I don't think he'll go back to Overlord drops after the first failure, so this is when I'm trying to sell you on the idea that a Nidus Worm actually wouldn't be too bad.
DT is coming in here, going to kill the 3rd base, and then I think he could kill all those Lings if it's microed a little bit there.
Oh, and by the way, shout out to Aurorian. Thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Glad to have you on board. Welcome to the Base Trade Brigade.
Yeah.
Oh, the Archons get caught. That's a nice surround. It's not going to kill them, but it'll get their shields really low, limiting how much time they can spend outside of that Warp Prism. In fact, that one is seriously on, like, no shields. Oh my god, it's like 50-something shields.
All right, good defense by ViBE. He did still have to cancel that 3rd base, however, and MaNa still has these Archons. Yeah, I was gonna say he probably just warps in more. I think he's seeing a weakness. Nothing but Lings.
I do want to point out, like, a big part of like MaNa here is he doesn't actually have this like dominating army supply. He doesn't have the capability to just A move and end the game. So I guess what we're talking a lot about how ViBE's like down and out of this. The thing is, he still hasn't lost, if that makes sense.
I thought he was gonna bring the other 2 Archons.
Oh no! Oh, I think that may have been part of the plan. He does.
He moved them.
Well, I think it was a misclick.
Oh yeah, he must have moved them close to the Warp Prism and then just misclicked.
Nice save though. He does have a second Warp Prism he built. I just keep waiting for it to come across the map. There we go.
Yeah. I mean, it's really. Yeah, I was gonna say the Warp Prism's still alive. You can't take care of 4 Archons. All Zealots being warped in. Looks like MaNa might have to cancel his 3rd base. It just started. Lings are already surrounding it, so I don't even think he. Oh, he did cancel it. There's a lot of minerals there.
Okay. That being said, though, it's still, yeah, he knocks down the Warp Prism. Feels good, man. But Zealots, Archons, there's just so much damage here, and as he takes control of the ramp, Lings have a much harder time taking any sort of fight. That was a bit of a mistake, but...
Yeah. And the Lings do have +1. ViBE trying to get some roaches now, for some range.
I think you just hold position with the Archons. That's kind of cool.
There's the Warp Prism, too.
Yeah.
Bring them on in.
This is where friends come, and it's going to be all DTs.
Friends.
Nobody told us life was going to be this way.
I really didn't know you were going with that. That took me a while to hear the tune.
I'm not a good singer. I am aware.
Okay.
This is not news to anybody, I feel. There's a sport car going down. This other action. These DTs can just go train on this because MaNa did get to the main. He's on no layer. He knows there's just nothing ViBE can do about these DTs.
No. ViBE not willing to give up, though.
Thank you, Nathros, for the 23 months. Glad to have you with us once more.
Oh,
God. It's like a meat grinder.
No.
This is someone called Peta. GG! MaNa takes the series 2-0. And he will not go down out of the group just yet. He does have to play against either Euthermal or Masa, though, once more after this for that final match of the group. We had Quang TV hit us up with a Twitch Prime sub 4 months in a row. Says BaseTradeTV will get my whole 12 months of Amazon Prime subs. Yo, nice!
Why haven't fired me?
Because he's not here.
So I took his place.
Yeah, plus it's awesome for both of us. Hello?
Quang!
All right, maybe we can grab MaNa for some interviews, or maybe not. Either way, guys, we're going to go to a small break and try and figure out what's going on. So sit tight. Thank you for watching our coverage of DreamHack. And, of course, if you get bored, the mainstream is going on behind us. We'll see you in a few minutes.